What is going on, everybody? It is Tukey from Tukey Trading here. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Now, for today's video, I want to be covering a couple of key things that really help me better understand and read the charts to then increase my decision making to catch more successful trades and, most importantly, reduce the amount of losses that we are having. So whether you're at that beginner stage, intermediate stage, this video is going to be perfect for you to pick up a couple of key things to better understand how to read these charts. Now, if you don't know who I am, I've been trading for 5 years now, and I've helped literally hundreds of traders get their start within the markets. So let's go ahead and hop onto the charts and make some magic happen. Now, one of the biggest things that I want to start with is understanding why the market is actually moving, right? Price isn't just moving up and down all day for no reason, like some sort of video game. Now, the market moves based off of two important things, and those are our buy orders and our sell orders, right? Also known as our demand and our supply. So think of it like some sort of scale. If we have more buy orders than sell orders that are being inputted, price will be moving up. If we have more sell orders than buy orders that are being inputted, price will be moving down. So us as traders, we want to determine areas on the charts where the excess of buy orders are being inputted or where the excess of sell orders are being inputted, also known as where is there stronger demand or where is there stronger supply on the charts. Now, I have a ton of different videos covering what exactly supply and demand is, how to trade with it, how to draw out these zones. Like you guys may see a bunch of different zones on the charts. So if you're not as familiar on what supply and demand actually is or how to trade with it, I definitely recommend watching those videos first, which I'll go ahead and link into the description. But that's one of the main things that you want to understand as a trader is why is the market actually moving? And like I mentioned, it's based off of supply and demand. So the bigger moves that you'll see on the charts, whether that's a bigger move to the upside, for example, that's where we're having areas of demand. The bigger moves to the downside that you'll see, that's where we're having areas of supply. Now, these zones that you are seeing, aka our supply and demand zones, are simply just price ranges on the charts where either we had an excess of buying being inputted or an excess of selling being inputted, right? So more buy orders being inputted would be our demand zones, more sell orders being inputted would be our supply zones. Therefore, that's why we are trading with these zones. These zones are helping us understand when the scale is pretty much going to move higher. Because if the scale is the same, if buy orders and sell orders are pretty much equal to each other, market really isn't going to be doing much. It's just going to be choppy, it's going to be consolidating, and that's the last thing that we want to be trading, right? We want to be catching those quick moves, those high volume trades. So that's one of the biggest things that I wanted to start with is why is the market actually moving and how to understand that. Now, every single day when I'm looking at the charts, when I'm making a decision, I'm understanding the overall momentum. And what that exactly looks like is when you're on the charts, look at what price is doing. Is price moving to the upside most of the day? Is price moving to the downside most of the day? What did pre-market do, right? So in this case scenario, we can clearly see that price has been more bullish, continued up to the upside more of the day and continued to make higher highs. So going into this trading day, I clearly knew what the overall momentum was, which was bullish. And when you're making your decisions, when you're looking to place a trade, that's one of the biggest things. You want to be trading with where the overall momentum is, because if the overall momentum is bullish and you're trading to the downside, you're going to get burned, right? You're very likely to not catch a solid trade. Now, if the overall momentum is bullish, like in this case scenario, I'm not saying that you can never catch a trade to the downside or there will never be moves to the downside, because as you can see here, we do have some slight moves to the downside, and we had some scenarios in which price did move to the downside and you could have utilized maybe a short position. But for the most part, you want to be patient and wait for some type of confirmation so you can continue trading with the overall momentum. And that's exactly what I did here. You can see, let me go ahead and zoom in just a bit for you guys. You can see here, like we already had covered, overall momentum in this case is bullish. So we want to look for some type of confirmation, some type of area we can look to then continue trading with that momentum. If overall momentum is bullish, we don't want to just immediately enter longs, right? We want to look for some type of confirmation to then continue trading with that momentum. So I have my demand zone here, also a bullish fair value gap here, which is simply just a buying zone, right? So I looked for price to then tap into that buying zone so I can continue trading with that bullish momentum. You can see pretty much all throughout the day, price continued higher and higher and higher. Obviously, bullish momentum throughout the day. So that's one of the biggest things. Now, this is the complete opposite. This was actually today, and here's another example of trading with the overall momentum. So we can see here that right off the bat, during pre-market, we had a strong push down. It was looking pretty bearish, right? Market opened up, we had a little bit of a push to the upside. Now keep in mind, when understanding overall momentum, if the overall momentum is looking bearish or is bearish, that doesn't mean we'll never have any moves to the upside or any opportunities to the upside. But for the most part, we want to be taking advantage of mainly trading to the downside. So in this case scenario, we can see here we had my demand zone, and then I wanted to find a confirmation to then continue lower, which was this case, which was this move here, tapped into this bearish fair value gap, and we were to continue trading with that bearish momentum continuing down lower. So that's going to be one of the biggest things that you guys want to understand, is just what the overall momentum is doing so you can continue trading with it. Because in this case scenario here, understanding that price was super strong during pre-market to the downside, super bearish, and pretty much all throughout the day price was looking bearish. If I were to take some sort of long here or some sort of long here, it just wouldn't make sense because we're not trading with the overall momentum. We were to just get burned. So that's why understanding where the strong supply is, the strong demand is, or what the overall momentum is, helps you better make decisions on whether you should either be trading to the upside or whether you should be trading to the downside. So that's going to be most important. Now, of course, we always want to be utilizing our supply and demand zones and understanding what those zones are doing. So in this case scenario, I have a demand zone here. Price failed to reject and bounce higher within that demand zone. So what is that telling us? It's telling us that this zone here that was supposed to present heavy buying failed to present us with that heavy buying. Therefore, the momentum confirmed to be bearish. So if we were to take some sort of entry, we would want to trade with that bearish momentum. And that's exactly what I did here, and also exactly what I did here. I understood what the momentum was. I understood what price was doing when it tapped into my zone. And you can see it was the complete opposite from the example I just showed you guys. We can see that instead of price breaking the demand zone and continuing lower, price actually price actually respected this demand zone and bounced, which continued the bullish momentum. So me seeing this rejection and bounce just gave me more confidence within my trade, because I knew that, okay, buyers are obviously still mainly in control. Buying momentum is still obviously in control. Therefore, it gives us more confidence that our trade is going to work out to the upside because that's where the momentum is. So, that's going to be one of the most important things and the key things that I wanted to cover for this video. If you guys learned anything new or found anything to be useful, definitely let me know down in the comments how it works out for you guys. And if you have any questions, of course, leave it down below. I will go ahead and link a couple of supply and demand videos that you guys can watch in the description to better catch those sniper moves on the charts. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Much love.